Look guys, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. One thing is very important. This is something else. The what is shagal?
Yes, it's on.
Not working. Yes. This will be recorded as well, huh? Good. Look guys, why the medical profession is important? Why it is important? Because sit down, sit. Maafi no. Why it is important? It is important that we want the people bring their life in their hand to the doctor, and it is the doctor who decides what to give with him, how to deal with this gentleman. So the prime importance of the medical profession is, gentlemen, you come here to the front. You know, the person behind you. Yes, come on. Come here to the front. The prime importance of this profession is honesty. What is the prime importance of this profession? You should be honest. Tamam? If we are not honest, very big problem. So the message is that when you are marking your attendance, you should be honest. You should not mark your attendance for others, though they are not here. Come on. Otherwise you will be caught.
You'll be surprised by the result.
Not by the result. We don't know who is doing this. We might know sometime. We have some good resources to know that who is doing this, no problem. But you are answerable to the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So please don't do this. Tamam? Clear? All those they are making attendance for others, this is the message for those, please don't do this. Because you are not doing good to that gentleman. This is not good for him even. Clear? So we will check the attendance and then we will let you know what is going on. Tamam? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So today's session we have two connecting sessions, immunoglobulin, something wrong, immunoglobulin 1 and immunoglobulin 2, and some of the things we will review some of the basic concepts which we have done in the previous years. So we will go in this way. Huh? What happened? Not working? It was working. Something is wrong. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe something wrong. Any other pointer? Yeah. It's working now. So these will be our objectives. We will see what are the characteristics of the immune response. We will define the immunoglobulins, their types, the different components of the immunoglobulins, the basic structure of the immunoglobulins and their functions and their genetic expressions. So we know that immune system, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created this system very strong, that whenever a foreign invader comes to our body, tries to damage the body, this immune system of the body fight with that so that we are healthy and we are not diseased all the time. I think the leader, come here, come to the front, leader should be on the front. Tal. Yeah, I will give you the place, no problem. Come here. Come to the front. Halatul Sida. Aiwa. Sit down here. I want some intelligent guys to be in front of me. So, so this immune system, they fight with the invaders. Otherwise, if this system would not be there, so we will be attacked, as we discussed several times. Every day, every cell has up to 6 mutations. And when there will be accumulation of the mutation, so the people, they end up with the disease. So this is the system that as network of the cells, tissue and organs that work together, and then it attacks the foreign invaders. The mechanism is called immunity. Immunity refers to the state of acquired or innate resistance, or the protection from a pathogen microorganism that comes to the body, that attacks the body. So if we just define the immunity in nutshell, it is the protection. It is the protection that is provided by the body, or protection provided to the body by the immune system against the foreign invaders. This is called immunity. The protection which is given to the body by the immune system against the foreign invaders. And the system, collection of the cells and tissue, is called immune system. Clear? So what are the foreign invaders? Foreign invaders can be viruses, bacteria, protozoas, fungi, parasite, environmental hazards, heat and cold and so many other things. These are the foreign invaders. Now what is why the question is that why it is necessary that we should understand the immune system. Why it is necessary to understand the immune system? Any idea? Why to understand the immune system? Yes?
Because you might give a drug that strengthens the immune system to fight the disease.
Okay. Okay. At the basic level, yes? To treat autoimmune disease. Yes, gentlemen, why it is important to understand the immune system?
To know what is the foreign body for.
What is the foreign body? Yes? Yes?
Bacteria, virus.
The question is, why to understand the immune system? Why to understand the immune system? Yes? To understand what is the example of self and non-self? Okay.
To know the process of our defense.
So to know the process how the body is defending. So it is necessary to understand that we should know the defense by recognize the foreign invaders. If we, Ahwan, if there is a fight, with the fight, if there is a football match, tamam, if you know that this is the opponent, you will tackle him, isn't it? If you don't know this is opposite, tamam, and then he will go. So in order to know the foreign from a non-foreign, or self from the non-self, recognize self versus non-self. Otherwise what will happen? What was the last case? What was the last PBL case? Autoimmune disease, type 1 diabetes. How it was happening? What was the reason?
They attack the beta cells.
Post-viral infection damages the beta cells. Post-viral infection damages the beta cells. Where was the problem? The problem was that the antibodies, they were formed against viruses, didn't recognize the beta cell as a self. When it didn't recognize, they didn't recognize the beta cell as a self, they damaged them. When they damaged them, eventually what happened? Diabetes. Clear? If the immune system hits the wrong target, it can lead to bunch of the disorder like allergy diseases, arthritis and diabetes. Tamam? And if the immune system is crippled, is damaged, then again when there is a deficiency of the immune system, then again there will be a diseases. So it is very much important to know the immune system. Immune system is like, you know what happened when you bring a lion from a jungle. Tamam? You know, I have seen there are so many people, they have lions, they have tigers. What do? You free it as it is. What do? You chain it. Tamam? Immune system is like a lion which is coming from the jungle, which is very violent, wild. You have to control it. If you control it, everything will be fantastic. If you don't control it, it will damage you. It is like a dog which you have kept in your home for security. A dangerous dog. You have to control it. If you don't control it, it will kill you guys. It will damage your own children. And if it is diseased, somebody other will come and kill you. You got my point? I gave you the several analogies. So this is the immune system. It is very important to control it. So these are the important things why to understand. Now, I know that you had these lectures earlier. Type of immunity, we have non-specific immunity, non-specific defense mechanism, and we have specific immunity or specific defense mechanism, or we call it adaptive immunity. Adaptive immunity, which we adopt from the environment, tamam, in response to some situation. So here, the defense mechanism, we have non-specific defense mechanism and we have a specific defense mechanism. Non-specific, we have first line of the defense, second line of the defense. The first line of the defense is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created skin, membranes, secretions, nasal secretion, GI secretion. They are the first line of the defense. Second line of the defense, WBCs, phagocytic cells, antimicrobial protein, inflammatory response. And the third line of the defense are the antibodies, lymphocytes, a specific type of the defense. The same defense mechanism, the immune system defense mechanism, is like a country defense mechanism. In every country there are three lines of the defense. There are three lines of the defense. We can divide it: armed forces, air forces, naval forces. Tamam? This is one classification. I am giving you another classification. There are three lines of the defense. If there is a mushkila, who will come first? The police will come first. This is the first line of the defense. Police is the first line of the defense. Tamam? If Shabab doing kida, the police will come. Point number one. Point number two, if it is not under the control of the police, there is one more tier. We are specialized people. They are not army, they are not police, they are in between. In our part they are called rangers. They come in between. National Guard. They come in between. They clear the situation. If it is not covered by them, then the army will come. Tamam? If mushkila zyada, then army will come. Clear? This is the three line of the defense everywhere in the world. See the three line of the defense. First line is skin, mucous membrane, mucous secretion. Not covered by this, WBCs. Tamam? And if it is not covered by that, then the specialized thing is there. Lymphocyte, antibodies. Tamam? If even somebody is not controlled by this, then it will create serious problems. So first line of the defense, this is the first line of the defense. Skin, epidermis and dermis. I am not going into the detail of this. This is the first line of the defense. The skin has the goblet cells, mucous membranes, column epithelium, secretions. Second line of the defense, WBCs, leukocytes, phagocytic cells, WBC, inflammatory responses, antimicrobials, proteins, WBCs, lymphocytes, monocytes, basophil, neutrophil, eosinophil. Who will come on the first? 60 to 70% neutrophils. 60 to 70% neutrophil, and then others then come according to the situation. So here, for example, what happened? There was a problem in the skin. Somebody pinch you, There is a trauma to the skin, this is the dagger, and there is a localized trauma. Now you can see the WBCs are there. This is the normal vessel. See the dilatation, huh? But then what will happen? The first thing, there will be a dilatation of the blood vessel. See, opening of the blood vessel. You can see the diameter, huh? This diameter and this diameter. Dilatation of the vessel. When the dilatation of the vessel, the pores will open. When the pores will open, these cells will move out. These cells will move out and make surrounding the area. Then what will happen? The third things, what happened when there is an emergency? First of all, for example, you saw the emergency, there is something wrong. What do? You first run to the site of the emergency. You first run to the site of the emergency. But once you saw that this emergency is not under your control, this gentleman, wake him up. It is not under your control, what do? You will call the others. Chemotaxis. Chemotaxis is there, and then more cells will go, and finally the damage area is healed. The damage area is healed. What is chemotaxis? The gentleman, the person behind you. Chemotaxis. Okay, you sit down, sit down, sit down, gentlemen. Chemotaxis. Okay, chemotaxis. Chemotactic factors, chemotaxis. Not only 3, Majdi and this and this and this, and then 4, Ghali, and thus only Hamza people. Yes? Yes, gentlemen. What is your idea? Chemotaxis. Your friend. Your friend. Allah. You, the third man, your friend, yes. Chemotaxis. The person behind you. Chemotaxis.
The first line can be goes, they come.
What is chemotaxis? Yes, Majdi.
They produce chemicals that attract the other.
Chemotaxis mechanism is what? When you shout somebody to help me. Tamam? This is called chemotaxis. The factors which attract the cells to come to the site, this is called chemotaxis. And finally, you see here, the phagocyte consumed and the pathogens consumes pathogens and cell debris. So it will eat in, everything is eaten, and now this is the mechanism of the treatment. Okay guys, what is the mechanism in the phagocytes? When it eaten, the phagocytic vesicle is formed, then lysosome comes. Lysosomal enzymes, lyases, these enzymes they break down, and then acid hydrolases, water inducing enzymes, and then they damage the cells. In the phagocytes, they kill the microorganisms. Third line of the defense is the autoimmune and adaptive immune system, a specific immune system, and this is our topic. We will come to this. The immunity that is provided by the adaptive immune system is also called adaptive immunity, or is also called acquired immunity. Acquired immunity. Acquired immunity. Acquired immunity. And it is composed of highly specialized cells, highly specialized systemic, not the general ordinary system. So what are the organs involved in this adaptive system? Bone marrow, lymph nodes, thymus, spleen. And what are the cells they are involved? Two types of the cell, B cell and T cells. So this is the glands, these are the glands, the different glands, they are synthesizing, and you have two types of the source. Now, acquired immunity, acquired mana when you acquired something from the environment, from others. For example, if you go to West, we acquired few things from the West. Tamam? What are those things? We don't break the queue, we always stand up in the queue. Tamam? Some good things, not the bad things. We acquired good things from them. because so this is something which you acquired from the others, So it is of two types. One is naturally acquired, another is artificially acquired. Naturally acquired again is of two types, active and passive. Active and passive. The active one is, for example, there is an infection or contact with the pathogen. So you acquired that and you produce antibodies and some immune system against that. Passive one, the antibodies coming from the mother through the milk. Tamam? These are the passive ones.
The antibodies that was the passive, that was in the passive.
Yeah, passive one. Formed antibodies. Artificially acquired, the active one, vaccine, dead vaccine, attenuated vaccine, you give him and the body develop antibodies. Yes, I am coming to. The passive one, you gave him preformed immunoglobulins. Yes. Close this laptop first. Come on. Because the guys, you are laptop people, they are dangerous people. Yes. Close this laptop first. Okay, come on. Now.
All this classification under the third line of defense.
Third line of defense. Third line of defense. Now try to understand the active and passive. Write on a pen. Try to understand the active and passive. For example, there is gentleman, last man, last three guys. What is active? Immunity. Come on. Yeah, stand up. We'll see you. Yes, very good, Mumtaz. What is active immunity? Okay, your friend. Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Active immunity, come on. He looks like a brother, huh? Yes? The last one with a good hairstyle, yes? Okay. I am giving you a simple example. Try to understand the active and passive. There is a one man, he came to you and he said, I don't have the flus, I don't have money. Gentlemen, active immunity. What is active immunity? Acquired, active. Naturally acquired, active.
Naturally, it's
Okay, I am giving you an idea, try to understand, okay? A gentleman came to you and he said, I don't have flus, help me. There can be two mechanisms. Either you will say, okay, no problem, I will give you 50 riyal, just take this chair and put it these 10 chairs to that classroom. Tamam? And then Kamil, I will give you 50 riyal. You put him on the work. You understand? Every day do this work, I will give you the money. Tamam? This is number one. Point number two is that you gave him Alatul 50 riyal, take it and that was. Which one is good? This one where you involve his body, this is the active one. This is the active one, where you involve the body. For example, you gave him vaccines, you gave him dead vaccines, and the body produced antibodies. You involve the body. This is called active immunity. But when you did not involve the body, Alatul gave him the flus. This is the passive one, where you give him direct immunoglobulins, where you gave him direct antibodies. Here the antibodies coming from mother, here the antibodies you are giving him from outside. So this is passive one, this is passive one. Clear? In emergency situation you can use passive one, but in order to build your body, active one is more important. Tamam? Okay guys, so humoral immunity, antibody mediated, we come to this point. involve the production of antibodies against the foreign antigen. And what are antibodies? These are the family of variable glycoproteins, protein with the carbohydrate, and they are specifically against the foreign agents. So they find the foreign agent and bind with them and kill them. Okay, what are the types of the adaptive immunity response? Two responses are there, cell mediated and the cell mediated response. This is the second response. One is the humoral one, another one is the cell mediated response, another is the cell mediated. Humoral one, two cells are involved, B lymphocytes, and the cell mediated, T cells are responsible. Humoral one is very much important for B cells, active things. Cell mediated for the chronic things, for transplant rejection, these are required. So B lymphocyte, also called B cell, and T lymphocyte, they are called T cells. Stay within the bone marrow until they are mature. Once they are mature, they are spread throughout the body, and then they produce antibodies. T lymphocyte leave the bone marrow and mature in the thymus, and once mature, only mature lymphocyte can carry out the immune response. So this is the difference. Bone marrow and T lymphocyte goes to the thymus, and in the thymus it is matured. So this is the technical difference between these two. Our target is this one. Our target is B lymphocyte. What happened of the antibody? How many types of the antibodies are there? 5 types. 5 types of the immunoglobulins are there. Every immunoglobulin has a structure. There is a long chain, it's called heavy chain, and there is a light chain. And the heavy chain and light chain, they are joined together by disulfide bridges. Heavy chain and light chain, they are joined together, and two heavy chain, they are joined together. So it makes V-shaped structure. Tamam? Then in every chain, a heavy chain and a light chain, there are these regions. You can see these regions. These regions are there. So here, the antibodies are tetrapeptide. Why we call them tetrapeptide? For what? For what?
For binding.
Okay, 4 peptide bond. هذا ما في 4 peptide bond. 1, 2, 3 peptide bond.
For distal.
What is 4 peptide?
4 amino acids.
4 amino acid. Mumtaz. 1, 2, 3, 4 amino acid. Peptide denotes to amino acid, not a peptide bond. Peptide denotes to amino acid. So this is tetrapeptide. Comprised of 2 heavy chain and 2 light chain. The 2 chains are held together by disulfide bonds. Now, every chain is divided into 2 regions, constant region and variable region. So every chain has 2 regions. Which region? Constant region and variable region. Then every antibody has 2 sites. One site which is antigen binding site, and another site is a complement binding site. And this complement binding site activates only when the antigen binding site is attached to the antigen. So, in nutshell, we say every antibody, how many chains are there? Yes. Four chain, huh? Well, you are great.
2 chains.
Very good. 2 chains are there. Tamam? 4 peptides are there. The chains are, one is variable, another is constant. Huh? Tamam. Very good. One is heavy and another is light chain. One is very heavy and another is, and every chain have different peptides, regions, constant and variable region. See here. This is variable, V for variable, this is V for variable, and this H is heavy, and then C is constant and C is constant. So in heavy chain, how many constant? 1, 2, 3 and 1 variable, and a light chain 1 constant and 1 variable region. Clear? This is the structure, and this region is called hinge region, hinge region. Now there are two sites. One site is antigen binding site. If you have a gun, the gun has two parts. One part you hold it, tamam, and the another part the bullet which goes on the other side, tamam. If you do it, if you are very smart hunter and you do it reverse, tamam, then exit 15, huh? Do it reverse and press, then alatul. So two parts. One part is the antigen binding site. So which part is this? Which part is this? Which is antigen binding site? The light chain and the heavy chain variable region, tamam. And this lower side of the heavy chain, it's called complement binding site, complement binding site. The antigen binding site is called epitope. This epitope is having on the antigen and it binds with this. This is called FAB region, FAB region. What is FAB region? FAB region is the region of the antibody by which it binds to the antigen, tamam. And what is this FC region? FC region is the region of the antibody, heavy chain or light chain? Heavy chain, which binds to the complement system. Clear? Huh? F region, F complement region. Now the heavy chain and light chain, we discussed these are variable, these are heavy chain, these are constant. What do you mean by variable region? Because you know that there are different types of the antigen, and antibodies are very few, tamam. There are many antibodies but types are few, so they are variably connect with all others of the antibodies. Here this is antigen binding site and this is complement binding sites. Okay guys, so here what happened, T cell, now how the cell will recognize its cells. T cell recognize native antigen, and T cell recognize the processed antigens. This is the T cell recognize the cells with this, the help of molecule MHC. This MHC, major histocompatibility complex, Dr. Kamal will let you know in detail of this, that what are the types and what are these. We will discuss this few as well. But what happened, this MHC is actually, this is very important. When the foreign agent, try to understand the concept, huh? When the foreign agent enter into the cell, the cell will break it. This is the first line defense, it will break it. Then what will happen, it will take a piece of that antigen and attach to the cell surface. It will take a piece of this antigen and attach to the cell surface. It is an idea, okay. Have you ever been to a long route, huh? Makkah or Dammam, huh? Tamam? Particularly in the night, maybe in the days, when there is a sahir, what happens, the people, what they do? Huh? Hazard light. What is that hazard light? They warn the other people that there is something wrong, isn't it? Tamam? They warn the other people. Similarly, this is the hazard light. The antigen is there, they break it and put one piece here. When they put one piece here, the T cell is moving, oh, this is the thing, catch it. Clear? B cell is attached with the direct antibody. There is no hazard light, there is nothing. He see the antibody, he see the antigen and attack it. So which one is fast? The B is fast. You understand? Two are there. This is B, this is T. Tamam? And there is an antigen. When the antigen comes, who will come first? Because the B. Because don't need to process. But this one needs a process one. This one need a process one. Clear? Is this clear? Okay guys, so B cell, B lymphocyte differentiate in the bone marrow as we discussed earlier. That's why we call B cell, because it comes from the birds, bursa. 5 to 10% in the lymphoid pool, and majority express class 2 MSC, C receptor and then FC receptor for the complement. Some of the cells they are proliferate in colonies. So this is antigen. Now again this is a chance. Many of the antibodies are formed, and some of the antibodies they fix it and they kill the antigen. For example, here, this is the antigen. What is the shape of this antigen? Some sort of an oval or triangular. Huh? It can only fit here. It can't fit here. It cannot fit here. It cannot fit here. So this is by chance. They fit with the antibody, and once they fit with the antibody, that type of the antibody start production more and more and more, and then they kill the same type of the antigen. Now, 3 functions of the antibodies are there. What are the functions of the antibodies? 3 functions of the antibodies. Number 1, it neutralizes the things, antigen. It neutralizes the antigen. Number 2, it opsonizes the antigen. Opsonize mana, it make it tasty, so the phagocyte cell eat it. Tamam? And point number 3, it activates the complement system by FC region, so again the complement system kill the antigen. So what are the 3 functions of the antibody? 3 functions of the antibody. Direct neutralization, direct killing or direct neutralization, opsonization to available for the killing, and activation of the complement system. Activation of the complement system. Yes, please.
So what do you mean by that arrow?
This one? Again, this complement system again help in the opsonization. They attach with the complement system. When they attach with the complement system, phagocytes see, oh, this is process one, come on and kill it. Come on. It will make it more easy to be killed. So what happened? Binding of the antibodies to the antigen, then inactivates the antigen by neutralization. Then these 2 are combined, precipitation of the bacteria like killing, directly killing, or make it insoluble antigen and then directly killing. And finally the third one is the activation of the complement system. When it activates the complement system have 2 mechanisms direct. One, it kills. Another, it helps in the eating of, helps in the opsonization. You know what is opsonization? You know what is opsonization? Yeah, make it more easily digestible. Tamam? Make it more easily to be killed. Huh? Neutralization. What is the idea of neutralization? Yeah. No, it will either direct kill or either it will make it non-functioning. It not allow it to function. It neutralize it. Come on. It break it. It kill it directly, or for example there is one antigen and 5 antibodies are surrounding it. So it can't do anything. Clear? Okay guys. So the T lymphocyte produce lymphocytic chains in stem cell by the mature T thymus, and they are 3 types. T helper cells, help, cytotoxic killer cells, and then memory cells. This is the beauty of this system, that for example this is the cells, mature thymus, this is the T cells, there is T helper cells. Tamam? Then there is a cytotoxic cells which kill the cells, and here is the help memory T cells. The memory T cells, it is such an important cell that it takes the picture of the antigen. The memory T cell takes the picture of the antigen, and then whenever this antigen comes again, it activates the system quickly. How they transfer the messages? They transfer the messages with the help of cytokines. They transfer the messages by the help of cytokines, and these cytokines, they are called chemical messengers. They are small proteins. They help the others, they transfer the message. And then we have so many identified, we divide them into different families. Some of them they stimulate, some of them they regulate these responses. So there are three chemical things: communications, interleukins, communication between the WBCs, interferon, protect against the virus infections, and chemokines, attract the WBC to the damaged area. So what are cytokines? They are proteins, they are chemical messengers, they transfer the information. Tamam? This is the list of the cytokines. Some of them you will see them in your several classes. Now, some of the cells, they are called antigen presenting T cell antigen receptors. Now, each T cell consists of two different types of the polypeptide chain, they are called alpha and beta. And the tip of the chain is variable and constant region we discussed earlier. So T cell and B cell antigen receptor are functionally different. Here, these are the receptors. Even the receptor has a site for variable and constant chain, variable binding site and constant sites. So it comes and attached to the variable region. It comes to attach to the the antibody has a variable region. Antibody has a variable region. So they come and attach to that. Here is the alpha chain, this is the beta chain, this is a transmembrane receptor, and they join together by this bond, disulfide bond, which is a strong bond. So the antigen recognition by the T cell binds to the antigen fragments which is displayed or present on the cell surface, and then these antigen fragments, which are cell surface protein, MSC molecule, and then these MSC molecules, they help in the presentation of the cell, as I said earlier too, the hazard light. So here two types we have MSC, MSC1 and MSC2. MSC1 is present on every nucleated cell. MSC1 is present on every nucleated cell. Which cell it will not be? RBCs. MSC2 present on the B cells, macrophage and dendritic cells. B cells, macrophage and dendritic cells. So here, this is the site. What is the function of the MSC? What is the function of the MSC? What is the role of the MSC? Presentation of the antigen. Presentation of the antigen. It takes a piece of antigen, attach on its head, and it is present on the cell. So from far away, the immune system see it and say, oh, this is the, for example, this your dress, blue dress, it is like MSC. It is like MSC. If we go there, or prep year student, we don't know the prep year student now, huh? We will know them in second semester. But if I go to the university, I can recognize the prep year or not? Yes. I know this is the dress. So anybody who is in that dress, I will say, come here, you are the prep year. Tamam? This is MSC. MSC presenting cells. MSC presenting. Tamam? Clear? So here is the antigen presenting cells, and then these are the class MSC2, which is present on the dendritic cell, and then the helper cells. What is the response here? For example, this is a bacteria. It is eaten by the macrophage. The macrophage brings this piece to the MSC. Tamam? The MSC with this piece, like the dress, recognized by the T helper cells. The T helper cell release cytokines, two types of the cytokines. One type of the cytokines to act on himself. And you will say, what is this funny? Tamam? I will let you know what is this. And another side of that cytokines will act the T cells, cytotoxic T cells, and the antibodies, humoral cells. Clear? This is the normal mechanism. You know, this is all logical things. for example, if you are in a tough situation, and you are in a tough situation, so sometimes you talk to yourself, look Salah, you can do this, don't worry, mafi mushkila, the problem is there, the exam is tough, but don't worry, you can do this, isn't it? We all do this, everybody do this. This is self motivation. So here the cell T cell is self motivating itself, T lymphocyte, the helper T cell, and forwardly it acting on the T cell, cytotoxic T cell and the B cells. Clear? This is the normal mechanism. Here the macrophage release some interleukins, attract the helper cells. So a helper cell will come and attach to this MHC cells, which is the T cell, and this has the T cell receptor. And you know the T cell receptor, malum the T cell receptor, we know the T cell receptor. Where is the T cell? Ya Allah. This is the T cell receptor. Clear? So here this attached to the T cell receptor, this T cell receptor. What is this one? You see here, CD4 cell. They attach it more strongly. So once it is attached with the criminal, it cannot go away. Clear, guys? What is this one? What is the function of this one? The function of this one is that this macrophage say that look, T cell and B cell, I caught this thief, but there are so many others. And this is the example which I am giving you, that they are in the blue dress, they are in second year, tamam? So see, this is everywhere, you the helper cell, to let all the people know that this is the mushkila. Clear? And this helper cell will announce to the T cell and the B cell that there is a problem there. Is this clear? This is the mechanism of the immune system. So how it will infect cells, and it will make the pore inside the cell, and then the cell will damage, and finally it kills the cell. Yes, please.
This is in case of if the macrophage could not deal with the...
Macrophage could not deal with this. Yes. So how the same mechanism is here, class 2 MHC cell, bacterium antigen, then CD4 cell. What is the function of CD4? To strong the contract, tamam, to tie it, and then everything is killed, and simultaneously there will be a clone of B cells, plasma cells, and then antibodies. Now there is a problem here. Some bacteria came, tamam, antibodies are formed, cells are activated, but in this mechanism they will make the memory cell as well. They will make the memory cell as well. Here it took how many days? From 7 to 28 days they took. But there is a second exposure of the same antigen. When there is a second exposure of the same antigen, so quick response is there. Secondary immune response is quick. Primary immune response is slow. Secondary immune response is quick. Why the secondary immune response is quick? Because they have picture in their mind. They have picture in their mind. Clear, guys? So what we have done? We said immune system is a very strong system. It can defend our bodies against the difficult things, against the foreign invaders. We discussed the B lymphocyte and the T lymphocytes, and we discussed the antibodies. We discussed the structure of the antibodies, that it is a V shape. There are two types of the chain, heavy chain and lighter chain. Every chain is joined together. The heavy chain joined together by a disulfide bond. The light chain, or the heavy chain on the up, is joined together by the disulfide bond. That's called hinge region. Every antibody structure have two sides. One side is called antigen binding site, another is called complement binding site. Every chain has two components, two chains, variable component and the and the constant component. The variable component is at the top, which is at antigen binding site, and the heavy chain have three constant, one variable, and in the light chain they have one variable and one constant chain. The primary response is slow, the secondary response is fast. When the antigen comes, the macrophage eat it. When the macrophage eat it, they bring a piece attached to the protein. That protein which attached that piece is called MHC. This protein will activate the helper cells. The helper cell will come and attack on it, bind on it, join on it, releases the interleukins, and then those interleukins will activate the T cell and the B cell. Clear? There is one more connection of the helper cell. That helper cell is called CD4. CD4 joined it. Tamam? Clear? Good. Yes.
What's the difference between primary